My beloved child, imagine standing on the shore, watching the sky darken as the wind begins to howl. The air is thick with anticipation, as reports warn of the approaching Hurricane Milton, a storm predicted to bring devastating winds, rain, and destruction. Though the storm has not yet made landfall, the anxiety and fear it brings are already palpable. Much like the financial storms that loom in your life, as we brace ourselves for the potential destruction that Hurricane Milton could bring, I want you to come to me in prayer for financial miracle, trusting that I can calm the storms in your life, both literal and financial, just as you pray for the protection of the American people, for the storm's power to weaken, and for the safety of homes and families. I ask you to bring your financial worries to me with that same urgency. Financial burdens, like hurricanes, often build slowly, gathering strength and threatening to destroy the stability you've worked so hard to maintain. Your prayer for financial miracle must be like the prayers you offer for protection against this storm, fervent, faithful, and rooted in trust that I will provide even in the darkest of times. In the same way that the people in the path of Hurricane Milton prepare, by boarding up their homes and stocking up on supplies, you must prepare spiritually for the financial challenges you face by trusting in my provision. You cannot stop the storm from coming, but through persistent prayer for financial miracle, you can ask me to minimize its impact, to shelter you from its worst effects, and to bring you through the financial difficulties stronger than before. Catholic prayer for financial miracle allows you to place your trust in me, knowing that I am in control, even when the winds of financial stress seem overwhelming. Faith amid the storm, preparing for the unseen. Imagine standing at the edge of the sea, gazing into the horizon where the clouds gather, dark and ominous. The air is still, but you feel it deep within you. A storm is coming. You may not see it yet, but every sign points to its inevitable arrival. Life is often like this, isn't it? Storms, whether physical or financial, loom in the distance, and we sense their approach long before the first raindrop falls. Faith amid the storm is not about waiting for the winds to die down, but about preparing your heart, your soul, and your trust in me to withstand what you cannot yet see. Your financial storm is no different. It begins as a whisper of worry, a small setback here, a missed payment there, and soon you are staring into the distance, knowing that greater challenges may be on the horizon. But let me tell you this, my child, your prayer for financial miracle is the first step in preparing for the unseen. Just as you would board up your windows and gather your family together before a hurricane hits, you must also prepare your soul with faith and trust in my provision, knowing that I am the one who will calm the storm in your life. Think of the people in the path of Hurricane Milton, how they listen closely to the warnings, how they begin to prepare for the worst, even before the storm arrives. But I am calling you to prepare differently. I am asking you to prepare with faith, not fear. The world tells you to stockpile resources, to guard what little you have left. But I ask you to come to me, to trust me through your Catholic prayer for financial miracle, and to believe that even when the storm comes, I will provide for you in ways that defy human understanding. Trusting in the unseen. Picture the disciples with me, as told in Matthew 15:32-39. They looked at the crowd of 4,000 hungry people, and saw only 7 loaves of bread and a few fish. They saw lack. They saw limitation. But what they didn't see, what they couldn't yet grasp, was my power to take what little they had and turn it into an abundance that would feed thousands. This is the essence of faith amid the storm, seeing beyond what is in front of you and trusting that I am working in the unseen. Your financial storm may feel overwhelming, like the disciples faced with a hungry crowd and not enough to feed them. You may look at your bank account, your debts, your obligations, and think, how will I ever get through this? But your powerful prayer for financial miracle is the act of surrendering those loaves and fish to me. You may not see how I will multiply what little you have, but trust that I will. I am the same God who fed thousands with almost nothing, and I can do the same for you. Faith in the unseen means believing that even though you cannot see the solution, it is already being prepared for you. Just as the people in the path of Hurricane Milton may not see the storm's full force until it arrives, you may not yet see the full extent of your financial challenges. But do not be afraid, for I am already working on your behalf. Your prayer for financial miracle is being heard, and I am preparing a way for you. Even now, praying through the storm. As the storm draws near, imagine the waves crashing against the shore, growing stronger with each passing moment. This is how doubt and fear can grow in your heart if you allow it. But I am calling you to pray with persistence, to trust me even as the winds of financial pressure rise around you. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is not a one-time request, it is an ongoing conversation between you and me. Like the waves that relentlessly meet the shore, your prayers should continue, even when the storm is at its fiercest. Bartimaeus cried out to me as I passed by. Even though others told him to be silent, his faith was unshaken by the voices of doubt around him. And because of his persistence, I stopped. I listened. And I healed him. In the same way, your persistent prayer for financial miracle will not go unheard. Even when it seems like nothing is changing. Even when the storm rages on. Keep praying. Know that I hear you, and that I am working on your behalf. Preparing a financial miracle that will restore what the storm has threatened to take from you. Just as the people of Hurricane Milton's path are praying for protection. I ask you to pray not only for protection but also for provision. Pray with faith that I will not only shelter you from financial destruction but also that I will bless you abundantly. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is like Bartimaeus' cry. It is a prayer of desperation, but also a prayer of deep faith, knowing that I am the source of all provision and protection. The calm after the storm. Imagine standing on the shore after the storm has passed. The waves have calmed. The wind has died down. And the sky begins to clear. This is what awaits you after your financial storm. Just as the people affected by Hurricane Milton will see the sun again, you too will see the light of my provision breaking through the darkness. Your prayer for financial miracle has not been in vain. Every cry for help, every plea for provision, has been heard. And I am already at work, preparing your financial blessing. But the calm after the storm is not just about survival. It is about seeing the abundance that I will provide. Just as I fed the 4,000. I will not just give you enough to survive, I will give you more than enough. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is the seed that will grow into an abundant harvest. I will not leave you in want. Trust in my timing. Trust in my provision. and know that your financial miracle is already on its way. Faith is the anchor. My beloved child, I know the storm feels overwhelming, but your faith is the anchor that will keep you grounded. Your prayer for financial miracle is the foundation upon which I will build your financial future. Just as the people prepare for Hurricane Milton by securing their homes, you must secure your heart with faith. Trust in me, and know that I will protect you from the worst of the storm and provide for you abundantly when it passes. The disciples did not see how I would feed the 4,000, but they trusted me with what little they had. I ask you to do the same. Trust me with your financial needs, no matter how small or overwhelming they seem. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is the act of handing over your loaves and fish, believing that I will multiply them into an abundance that will meet all your needs. If this message of faith and provision has touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let us walk this journey of faith together, trusting in God's provision for both the storms we see and the storms we cannot yet see. Share your experiences in the comments below, and let your story of faith inspire others who are seeking their financial miracle. Together, we will weather the storms, anchored in faith, and trusting in God's unending provision. Praying for protection and provision, a call for financial miracles. Imagine standing in the stillness of a calm evening, where the sky holds its breath before a storm. The wind begins to pick up, and the first drops of rain kiss the earth, yet you know this is only the beginning. The storm is coming, and with it, the unknown. This is how financial storms often come into our lives, quietly at first. A small challenge here, a minor setback there, until suddenly, it feels like we are standing in the path of a relentless hurricane. In those moments of uncertainty, when fear grips your heart, I am calling you to turn to me through prayer for financial miracle. It is through these prayers that you will find both protection and provision, even in the most tumultuous of times. Hurricane Milton, the storm that now threatens to strike, reminds us of how fragile life can feel. The forecasts are grim, predicting destruction, loss, and hardship. Yet, even as the storm approaches, you do not have to face it alone. I am with you, guiding you through the wind and the rain, just as I will guide you through the financial storms that come your way. When you pray for protection from this physical storm, know that you can also ask me for protection from the storms of financial hardship that threaten your peace. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just a cry for help. It is a declaration of your trust in me as the one who provides. Just as people prepare their homes for the arrival of a hurricane, boarded up windows, sandbags in place, evacuation plans ready, you, too, must prepare spiritually for the financial challenges ahead. But instead of fear, prepare with faith. When the winds of financial stress begin to blow, do not panic. Turn to me in prayer, for I am your shelter and your provider. Through Catholic prayer for financial miracle, you are not only seeking relief but also surrendering your situation to me, knowing that I hold all things in my hands. Protection in the midst of the storm. Picture yourself as a tree in the middle of a storm. The winds howl, the rain beats down, yet your roots hold you steady. Your prayer for financial miracle is like the roots of that tree, grounding you in faith while the storm rages around you. No matter how fierce the winds of financial hardship blow, You remain steadfast, anchored in the trust that I am your provider. I see the storm coming before you do, and I have already made a way through it for you. Just as the people of Hurricane Milton's path are praying for protection from the storm's devastating effects, I invite you to pray not only for protection but also for provision. I am the one who provides for you in all seasons, whether the skies are clear or the winds are fierce. I am always there. When you pray for a financial miracle, you are placing your needs in my hands, trusting that I will shelter you from financial ruin and provide for you even in the most difficult circumstances. Look at the birds of the air, they do not sow or reap, yet I feed them. Look at the lilies of the field, they neither toil nor spin, yet I clothe them in splendor. If I care for the birds and the flowers, how much more will I care for you? When you pray with faith, your Catholic prayer for financial miracle becomes an invitation for me to step into your situation and provide in ways that you cannot yet see. Even when the financial storm feels overwhelming, even when you cannot see how you will make it through, trust that I am already working on your behalf. Provision beyond the storm. As the winds of Hurricane Milton begin to rage, many are praying for protection from its immediate effects, the winds, the rain, the flooding. But I want to remind you that I do not only protect, I provide. Your financial needs are not hidden from me, and I am ready to provide for you in ways beyond your imagination. When you pray for financial miracle, you are not just asking for enough to survive, you are asking for the abundance that only I can give. Think of the crowd I fed in Matthew 15:32-39. Thousands of people, hungry and desperate, stood before me with only a few loaves of bread and a few fish. The situation seemed hopeless. But what the people could not see was that I had already prepared a way to provide for them. What little they had, I multiplied. In the same way, when you come to me through prayer, I will take the little you have and turn it into more than enough. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is like those loaves and fish, small and seemingly insignificant in the face of your need. But when placed in my hands, it becomes the seed of a great blessing. I will multiply what you have, providing not just for your needs but for your abundance. Even when the financial storm seems impossible to overcome, know that I am preparing provision for you beyond what you can imagine. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Instead, come to me today in prayer, trusting that I will provide for your every need. Just as I protected and provided for the thousands who came to me hungry, so too will I protect and provide for you. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is heard, and I am already preparing the blessings that will follow after the storm. Faith in my timing. The winds of financial difficulty can feel relentless, like waves crashing against the shore over and over again. You may feel as though your prayers are being carried away by the storm, unheard and unanswered. But I want you to know that every prayer is heard, not one goes unnoticed. Just as I hear the prayers of those preparing for the impact of Hurricane Milton, I hear your prayers for financial healing. Sometimes the answer comes immediately, like a sudden calm after the storm. But more often, it comes in my perfect timing, slowly, like the sunrise after a long, dark night. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is like the first light of dawn. It may seem small, but it signals that the storm is passing, and that provision is on its way. Trust in my timing, for I know what is best for you. I know when to calm the storm. And I know when to send the provision that will meet all your needs. Just as the people in the path of Hurricane Milton prepare by waiting and watching for the storm to pass, you too must wait with faith. Do not be discouraged if the answer does not come right away. The storm may seem long, but I am with you through every moment. Your persistence in prayer will be rewarded. And in the end, you will see the blessings I have been preparing for you all along, trusting in my provision. As you stand at the edge of this financial storm, I ask you to trust me. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just a request for help, it is an act of faith, showing that you trust in my provision. Just as the people in Hurricane Milton's path are placing their faith in me for protection, I ask you to place your faith in me for provision. I will provide for your every need, just as I have always done. Even when the winds of financial pressure blow against you, I am with you, sheltering you from the worst and preparing a way for you to not just survive, but to thrive. In the end, the storm will pass, the winds will die down, the rain will stop, and the sun will break through the clouds. You will see that I have been with you all along, protecting and providing for you every step of the way. Just as I fed the multitudes with only a few loaves and fish, I will provide for your financial needs in ways that you cannot yet see. Your prayer for financial miracle is the seed of your blessing, and I am already at work, preparing a harvest of provision for you. The calm after the storm, trusting in the miracle of provision. My beloved child, picture the sea after a storm. The waves that once crashed violently against the shore have softened into a gentle rhythm. The sky, once dark and brooding, begins to clear, revealing a soft glow of sunlight breaking through the clouds. This is the calm after the storm. And just like the physical storms that pass, so too will the storms of financial hardship that you face. But this moment of calm is not just a time for relief, it is a time to reflect on the miracle of provision that has been at work all along. Your prayer for financial miracle is like a lighthouse guiding you through the storm, offering hope even when the winds of fear and doubt threaten to blow you off course. Every prayer you've whispered in desperation, every tear you've shed in frustration, has not been in vain. Just as the storm eventually passes, so too will your financial struggles. And when they do, you will look back and see that I was there all along, providing for you in ways you could not see at the time. Imagine a ship captain steering through rough waters. Though the storm is fierce, he knows that land is ahead. In the same way, I am calling you to trust that the storm will end and that the land of provision is near. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just a request for help, it is an act of faith, believing that even in the darkest moments, I am the one who will calm the storm and bring you safely to shore. The calm is a gift of faith. When the disciples were caught in a storm on the Sea of Galilee, they feared for their lives. But I was with them. They called out to me, and I calmed the storm with just a word. Peace, be still. I said, and the winds obeyed me. In your financial storm, I am speaking the same words to you. Peace, be still. Even as the storm rages, I am preparing your way through it. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle has reached my ears, and I am already working to bring peace to your situation. But the calm after the storm is not just a time to rest, it is a time to trust. Trust that the provision you need is coming. The storm may have stripped away your sense of security, shaken your confidence, and left you feeling exposed. But now, in this moment of calm, I am asking you to lean into my provision. Just as I calmed the storm for my disciples, I will calm the storm in your finances, and I will provide for you abundantly. Look at the lilies of the field, they do not worry about tomorrow. Yet I clothe them in beauty. How much more will I provide for you? My beloved, your financial worries are not too great for me. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is being answered. Even if you do not see the full picture yet, in this calm, after the storm, I am preparing a harvest of provision that will meet your every need. The miracle of multiplication. In the story of Matthew 15:32-39, I fed thousands of people with only a few loaves of bread and a few fish. This miracle was not just about physical nourishment, it was a sign of my power to provide even when resources seemed scarce. Just as I multiplied the loaves and fish, I will multiply what little you have and turn it into an abundance. Your prayer for financial miracle is the seed that I will multiply into blessings that overflow. Just as the people ate until they were full and there were baskets of leftovers, so too will my provision for you be more than enough. The storm may have left you feeling as though you have little to work with, but I will take your small acts of faith and multiply them. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is like offering up the loaves and fish, small. Yes. But in my hands, they become more than enough to meet your needs. Do not be discouraged if you feel like you don't have enough. What you have is enough when placed in my hands. Just as I multiplied the bread and fish, I will multiply your resources. I will open doors of opportunity that you didn't even know were there. I will provide for you in ways that you cannot yet imagine. But you must trust me in this moment of calm, knowing that the storm has passed, and that my provision is on its way, resting in the assurance of my care. As the storm passes and the calm settles in, I want you to rest, not just physically, but spiritually. Rest in the assurance that I am caring for you. Your financial worries, your fears about the future, are all in my hands. Your prayer for financial miracle has been heard, and I am already working to bring the provision you need. But more than that, I want you to rest in the knowledge that I am always with you. Even in the calm after the storm, the world may tell you to worry, to hold on tightly to what little you have. But I am calling you to release your fears. Trust me. Just as the people in the path of a storm look to the calm skies with hope, I want you to look to me with hope, knowing that I am your provider. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is an act of trust, and I will not let you down. I have never abandoned my children, and I will not abandon you now. Provision beyond your imagination. In the calm after the storm, it is easy to fall into the trap of worrying about when the next storm will come. But I am asking you to focus not on what could go wrong, but on the provision that is already on its way. Just as I provided for the multitudes with only a few loaves and fish, I will provide for you in ways that are beyond your imagination. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is being answered, and my provision will be greater than what you expect. The calm after the storm is a reminder that I am always in control. Even when the winds are fierce and the waters rise, trust in my provision, for it is coming. I will not only meet your needs, I will exceed them. Just as I did for the thousands who ate and were satisfied. If this message of faith and provision has spoken to your heart, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, We can walk this journey of faith, trusting in God's provision in every storm. Share your story of faith in the comments, and let your testimony of God's faithfulness inspire others who are seeking their financial miracle. With love and grace, Jesus. My beloved child, as you stand in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton, watching the wreckage left behind, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of destruction. Homes torn apart, businesses shattered, and the lives of many left hanging in uncertainty. The storm has passed, but the damage is palpable, leaving behind a trail of despair and questions. But even amidst the debris, I ask you to remember that there is a power greater than any storm, a force that can rebuild not just physical structures, but lives and hearts. Your prayer for financial miracle in these times is like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding you through the darkness and the unknown. When Hurricane Milton made landfall, it seemed unstoppable, powerful, and unforgiving, much like the financial struggles you face. The storm hit hard, causing destruction. But remember, the physical winds may have torn down walls, but they have not destroyed the faith that resides within you. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is more powerful than the winds of any storm. While the storm's fury may have left people questioning their future, your faith in my provision will ensure that you rise above the destruction, just as you prepare to rebuild what the storm has destroyed. You must also prepare your heart for the financial blessings I am preparing for you. My dear one, faith is not just for calm seas. It is for storms, too. When the storm rages and the winds of doubt and fear howl at your door, that is when your powerful prayer for financial miracle becomes the anchor that keeps you steady. Like the man with the withered hand in Mark 3:1-6, who persisted in faith despite the judgment and opposition of the Pharisees. I call you to stretch forth your hand in faith, even when it seems impossible. I see your efforts, and I hear your prayers. You may feel as though you are in the eye of the storm. But remember, I am the calm after the storm, the peace in the midst of chaos. When Bartimaeus called out to me for healing, the crowd told him to be silent, but his persistence in faith was rewarded. Like Bartimaeus, you must not allow the noise of doubt, fear, and financial hardship to drown out your faith. Your prayer for financial miracle must rise above the noise, the same way Bartimaeus' cry for healing rose above the crowd. Do not let the voice of fear stop you from coming to me with your financial needs. Do not let the destruction around you silence your prayers. I hear every word you speak, every cry for help. Hurricane Milton may have shaken the lives of many, but it did not shake my ability to provide for you. When you pray, do not just ask for immediate relief, ask for wisdom and long-term provision. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just about a one-time blessing, but about creating a foundation of faith upon which I will build a lifetime of provision and blessings. Like the ruins of a city being rebuilt after a storm, brick by brick, I will rebuild your financial security if you trust me with the process. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle will guide you as you move forward, helping you discern the right choices, the right steps, and the right opportunities that will lead to financial healing. Before we go any further, I ask you to subscribe to this channel and become part of a community of faith, where we pray for financial miracles together. Comment below and share your personal stories of faith, how you have seen God work in your life. and the financial miracles you are praying for. Let's lift each other up in prayer and continue to trust in the Lord's provision. Rebuilding after the storm, a journey of faith and financial healing. My beloved child, as the storm passes and the winds quiet down, there is a deep stillness that follows. Yet in that stillness, the aftermath of the storm can be daunting. The damage left behind, whether it is to homes, communities, or financial stability, can often seem overwhelming. Hurricane Milton, like many storms in life, brings both physical devastation and emotional turmoil. But remember this, no storm is greater than the power of your faith, and no devastation is beyond the reach of God's grace. As you stand in the midst of brokenness, with debris scattered around and hearts heavy, it is easy to feel as though rebuilding is impossible. But this is the very moment where faith becomes your foundation. Your prayer for financial miracle in this moment is not merely a request for relief, it is an act of trust in God's ability to rebuild what was lost, brick by brick, piece by piece. Just as homes and lives are restored after a hurricane, so too can your financial life be rebuilt through persistent prayer and unwavering faith. The storm may have taken much, but it has not taken your hope. In the same way that communities come together after a hurricane to begin the long process of rebuilding, you, too, can begin to rebuild your financial life. This process does not happen overnight. Just as the physical reconstruction of homes and infrastructure takes time, but with each step, guided by Catholic prayer for financial miracle, you are not walking alone. God is there with you, guiding each decision, providing the resources, and lighting the path forward. In the Gospel of Mark 3:1-6, Jesus healed the man with the withered hand on the Sabbath, defying the expectations of those who would limit God's work to a particular time or circumstance. This healing was a powerful reminder that God's blessings and restoration are not confined by human limitations. Just as Jesus healed the man's hand, He can also bring healing to the financial struggles that may have worsened. In the wake of Hurricane Milton, your prayer for financial miracle is not bound by the severity of the storm or the extent of the damage. It reaches directly to the heart of God, who is always ready to provide. Rebuilding after the storm requires patience. Just as the man with the withered hand had to wait for his moment of healing, financial rebuilding, too, takes time. It requires trusting in the process and believing that, even when progress feels slow or insignificant, God is working behind the scenes. Every prayer you offer up is like another brick laid in the foundation of your financial future. The key is to keep praying, to keep believing, and to trust that the powerful prayer for financial miracle you are making will not go unanswered. Trust in God's timing. After the storm, it is natural to want immediate relief, to have everything restored to the way it was before. But sometimes, God's plan for restoration is not just about bringing things back to where they were, it's about creating something stronger, more resilient, and more blessed than before. In the same way that homes rebuilt after a storm are often reinforced to withstand future disasters, your financial restoration, guided by Catholic prayer for financial miracle, is about creating a foundation that is stronger than what came before. The act of rebuilding is also an opportunity for growth. Hurricane Milton may have revealed vulnerabilities in the structures of homes, But it also brings to light areas in our financial lives where we can grow in wisdom, trust, and faith as you begin the process of rebuilding. Think of this as a time to invite God to guide your decisions with clarity and divine insight. Allow your prayers to focus not just on recovering what was lost, but on building something that will endure. This is the time to embrace the fullness of faith, knowing that God's provision is not just about today but about preparing you for the future. There is also a call here for gratitude and perseverance. Just as you give thanks for surviving the storm, so too must you give thanks for the opportunity to rebuild. Gratitude transforms the rebuilding process from a daunting task into an act of faith. When you thank God in advance for the financial healing and blessings to come, you are sowing seeds of faith that will bear fruit. Your prayer for financial miracles should always be accompanied by gratitude, not just for what has been restored, but for the unseen blessings that are yet to come. When the man with the withered hand was healed, it was not just a physical restoration, it was a sign of spiritual renewal. So, too, can the process of financial rebuilding after a storm become a journey of spiritual growth. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is a tool not only for restoring what was lost, but for drawing closer to God in faith and dependence. Let this time of rebuilding be marked by deepening trust, by a commitment to prayer, and by a steadfast belief that God is the ultimate provider, no matter the size of the storm. And finally, my beloved child, as you embark on this journey of restoration, do not forget to share your testimony. Just as the man with the withered hand surely shared the miracle of his healing, you too should share the ways in which God is working in your life. Whether it's through Catholic prayer for financial miracle, or through moments of quiet provision, your story has the power to inspire others who are walking through their own storms. So, take heart. Rebuilding after the storm is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one that is filled with hope, faith, and the promise of God's unfailing provision. Every brick you lay, every prayer you whisper, brings you closer to the financial healing and blessings that God has in store for you. Trust in Him, and He will provide. Lessons from the withered hand. In the story from Mark 3:1-6, the man with the withered hand did not hide his affliction when I called him forward. He stretched out his hand in faith, and in doing so, received his healing. You may feel like your finances are withered, like there is no hope for recovery. But just as the man extended his hand, I call you to extend your faith. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is the act of stretching out your hands to me, trusting that I will provide the healing and restoration you need. The opposition around him, the Pharisees, tried to stop this miracle from happening. Likewise, there will always be voices that try to tell you that your situation is hopeless, that financial miracles do not happen, or that you are beyond help. But my beloved child, do not listen to those voices. Your prayer for financial miracle is more powerful than the doubts of others. Like the man with the withered hand, do not let fear stop you from believing in my provision. The power of persistence. The rebuilding after Hurricane Milton will not happen overnight. It will take time, effort, and the cooperation of many. Similarly, financial healing does not always come instantly. But just as people will work together to restore their homes and businesses, I will work with you to restore your financial well-being. Your prayer for financial miracle is the first step, but persistence is key. just as the community will not give up on rebuilding after the storm. You must not give up on praying for financial restoration. Bartimaeus did not stop calling out to me, even when others told him to be quiet. He knew that persistence in faith would bring healing. Likewise, I ask you to be persistent in your prayers. Continue to trust that I am working in your situation, even when you cannot see the progress. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle will not go unanswered, but it requires faith and patience. I invite you again to subscribe to this channel and become part of our community of faith. Share your stories of financial struggles and miracles in the comments. And let's lift each other up in prayer. Together, we can encourage one another to remain strong in faith as we wait for God's provision. Trusting in my provision. When the storm has passed and the rebuilding begins, it is easy to look at the destruction and feel defeated. But remember, I am the God who provides. Just as I provided for the multitudes with a few loaves and fishes, I will provide for you. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is not just about receiving money, it is about trusting in my ability to provide in every area of your life. Do not be discouraged by what you see. What may seem like ruins today will be a foundation for blessings tomorrow. Like Bartimaeus, do not let doubt silence your prayers. I hear every word. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is precious to me, and I will answer in my perfect timing, just as the man with the withered hand was healed. Your finances will be healed if you continue to trust me. Before you go, remember to subscribe and comment below. Let's walk this journey of faith together, supporting one another as we pray for financial miracles. Your story of faith and persistence can inspire others to believe in God's provision, even in the most difficult times. Faith beyond the ruins, trusting in God's restoration. My beloved child, when you stand in the midst of ruins, be they physical or financial, it is often difficult to see beyond the devastation, the damage left behind by life's storms, like Hurricane Milton, can be overwhelming. Homes shattered, businesses destroyed, and the once stable ground beneath you now feels uncertain. But in these moments, where all that was once secure is now in ruins, I invite you to look not at what has been lost, but at the one who can rebuild all things. Your prayer for financial miracle is the foundation upon which you must stand. When everything around you seems to have crumbled, just as ancient ruins can be restored to their former glory, so too can your financial life be restored. But this restoration is not through your own strength alone, it comes through the power of your faith, your trust in me, and the unwavering belief that I will guide you through the process of rebuilding. When a storm like Hurricane Milton leaves its mark, the natural instinct is to focus on the destruction, to see only the broken pieces scattered across the landscape. But faith calls you to look beyond the ruins. Catholic prayer for financial miracle is not just a request for God to repair what has been lost, but it is a declaration of your trust in my plan, my timing, and my ability to transform even the most hopeless situations into moments of grace. Look at the story of the man with the withered hand in Mark 3:1-6. On the Sabbath, in front of many who doubted, I called forth the man and restored his hand to full health. This miracle wasn't just about physical healing, it was a testament to what faith can do, even when others try to limit what is possible. Those who witnessed the healing did not believe restoration could happen on that day. But faith transcends human rules and expectations. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is not constrained by what seems possible in the moment. It is fueled by faith in the God who is not bound by time, circumstance, or human limitation. When you look at your finances and see only ruins, I urge you to remember that I am a God of restoration. Faith beyond the ruins means trusting that, even in the most barren of places, I can plant seeds of abundance. Like a garden that blooms after a fire, I will make your financial life flourish again. But it requires that you not lose heart in the waiting. Your Catholic prayer for financial miracle is not just a fleeting request for quick relief, but a powerful act of faith that calls you to persevere, to trust, and to remain steadfast, knowing that I am already working on your behalf. The process of restoration takes time. After a storm like Hurricane Milton, the cleanup and rebuilding efforts don't happen overnight. There are days of hard work, moments of frustration, and times when it feels like progress is slow. But just as communities come together to rebuild stronger homes, you, too, must come together in faith to rebuild your financial life. Your powerful prayer for financial miracle is the spiritual tool that lays the foundation brick by brick. One prayer at a time, one step at a time, beloved. Remember that rebuilding is not just about restoring what was lost, it's about creating something even stronger, more resilient, and more blessed than what stood before. When you rebuild with faith as your cornerstone, your financial life will not only recover, it will thrive in ways you never imagined. Faith beyond the ruins is what transforms devastation into opportunity. Every prayer you send my way is like a brick laid in the foundation of a new future. A future filled with hope, abundance, and my constant provision. Trust in my provision, for I am the one who multiplies blessings. Even in the most difficult of circumstances, the ruins you see today are not the end of your story. They are merely the starting point for the incredible things I am about to do in your life. Look at the man with the withered hand. His story didn't end with his suffering. It ended with a miraculous restoration. And so too will your story end with restoration. If you continue to place your trust in me as you rebuild, let gratitude be your guide, even in the midst of the ruins. Thank me for the strength to keep going, for the opportunity to rebuild, and for the blessings yet to come. Your prayer for financial miracle must always be accompanied by gratitude. When you thank me in advance for the financial healing you are about to receive, you open the door for more blessings to flow into your life. Like the man whose hand was restored, you, too, will have a testimony of my goodness. A story of how faith turned ruins into restoration. And beloved, do not walk this journey alone. Just as communities rally together after a storm, come together with those who share your faith. Let your story of restoration inspire others who are also facing financial challenges. Share your testimony, not just to glorify what I have done, but to encourage others to trust in me as well. Every time you share how I have worked in your life, you plant a seed of faith in someone else's heart. So, let faith beyond the ruins be your anthem. When the world sees destruction, you see the promise of what is to come. When others give up, you stand firm in the belief that your powerful prayer for financial miracle is already being answered. And when you look at the ruins, know that they are simply the beginning of the story I am writing for you, a story of grace, provision, and unshakable faith. And as you walk this journey, I invite you to share it with others. Subscribe to this channel to continue learning how to pray for financial miracles, to hear more stories of faith, and to grow in your understanding of God's provision. Leave a comment below sharing your experiences, and let your story inspire others to keep their faith alive, even in the face of overwhelming odds. In the aftermath of every storm, there is an opportunity, not just to rebuild what was, but to create something greater. And as you rebuild, I will be with you every step of the way. Trust in me, my beloved child, and I will lead you to places of peace, abundance, and restoration. Amen.